This alone is a preposterous disservice to the country. However, as they often say on TV shopping shows, but wait, there's more. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues and guests in the gallery, good afternoon. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that an unjust law is no law at all. By extension, I dare say, an unjust contract is no contract at all. I speak of contracts that are overly one-sided and extend to the level of an intolerable loss of our sovereignty. I refer, of course, to the 1997 water concession agreements entered into with Manila Water Company and Maynilad. These contracts are bursting with provisions of numerous illegalities and excessive misinterpretations, all to the detriment of the Filipino people. Add to this, it has never passed through the scrutiny of Congress. It has been fundamentally wrong to begin with. Sinuko na ng MWSS ang pagiging public utility doon sa concession agreement. It is high time that we truly enforce accountability to those responsible for defrauding the consumers for the benefit of private interests. Allow me to describe these provisions for you. First, to consider the concessionaires as mere agents of MWSS is by all means a farce. These companies are public utilities. No ifs, no buts.
WSS pinag-usapan natin na bakit kuryente na wala.
Hello?
Yeah, meron na. Check.
Okay na?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So sorry for the interruption.
Okay na po ba?
You may now proceed, Representative Herrera.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Naalala ko tuloy noong 2010, 2011, nung nag-privilege speech ako, ang daming gustong pumigil sa akin magsalita. Baka mamaya natakot ako, ngayon naman napipigilan po ako ulit. Mikropono na po ang pinapatay sa akin. Anyway, ulitin ko po. First, to consider that these concessionaires are mere agents of MWSS is by all means a farce. These companies are public utilities. No ifs and no buts about it. For those who insist on their status as agents of MWSS, you are responsible for allowing these companies to pass on business expenses and corporate income taxes that they should rightfully be paying all to the consumers. These include the outlandish and ridiculous provisions in the concession agreement to pass on to the consumers all legal and arbitration expenses. In 2018 alone, these two concessionaires sought to pass on to the consumers by increasing rates to cover corporate expenses such as donations, travel expenses, sports expenses, legal and arbitration fees, and corporate income taxes. Gastos nila, taong bayan ang magbabayad. Through this same agency treatment, these companies have abused the system even further, determining that the maximum 12% limit rate of return imposed on public utilities do not apply to them as they are mere agents. No wonder skyrocket na po ang kinikita nila. Ito pong resolusyon na hawak ko Resolution number 04006-CA na inissue ng Regulatory Office ng MWSS ang tanging papel na nagsasabi na hindi sila public utility. Sinasabi nila sila ay mere agents. Kagagawan lang po ito ng isang technical working group na sila rin ang komposisyon nito. Kaya kayang-kaya po nating i-insist at i-demand na sila ay public utility company. This alone is a preposterous disservice to the country. However, as they often say on TV shopping shows, but wait, there's more. The government has bent over backwards in favor of these companies. The so-called innovation of the MWSS Regulatory Office in its interpretation of the concession agreement allowed the concessionaires to collect fees via the water tariff capital investment plans and programs that have not yet been implemented or for those that have already been abandoned. They were allowed to bill consumers for broad million and the Angat water reliability for 5.4 billion pesos and the earthquake contingency project for 4.130 billion pesos. For these 6 projects alone, a total yet to be fully implemented. To name only a few, the Wawa Dam, which is a 732 million project, the Laguna Lake project, which is a 100 million project, the Laiban Dam project, which is a 56.262 billion pesos, have been billed in advance from the Filipino people. I ask, where are these projects today? Why is it that the benefits from these haven't been felt by the Filipino people? How is it that this year alone, our own people suffered from massive systematic water shortage that disrupted the national capital region? Let's recap, shall we? These companies charge to the consumers various business expenses and have the people prepay for projects, some of which are already abandoned or yet to be fully implemented. And they want the government to pay 10 billion pesos through their arbitration. Have they performed their duties and responsibilities from the concession agreements they consider sacred? I use this term lightly, as they themselves do not seem to respect the concession agreements they anchor their claims on. The very agreements themselves all point to the fact that they are public utilities, and the only semblance of any agency is to allow them to be empowered agents of the MWSS to apply for the exercise of governmental functions such as easement, eminent domain, and right of way. Existing law, jurisprudence, and overall basic common sense all point to the conclusion that water distribution and provision of sewerage services to the general public granted by the concession from MWSS as the original public utility from its legislative charter. So the MWSS is a public utility, and it enters into a concession agreement to the two companies. And all of a sudden, they aren't public utilities themselves. But let's focus on the other issues from now. After all, they want government to uphold their concession agreements. What has happened to the requirement of the very same concession agreements for these companies to provide proper sewerage and sanitation systems? Where are the international standard piping systems that they are supposed to have created? Ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues, these concessionaires, these companies are still using the drainage systems of the DPWH. These drains are ill-suited for sewerage and sanitation, and once the annual rains come, sewage is included in the floodwaters, increasing the spread of diseases such as leptospirosis, dengue, dysentery, among others, as well as causing the spread of toxic elements that are hazardous to the public. When we experience services that we are not satisfied with, what do? As consumers, we can choose not to patronize these establishments. Pag hindi tayo masasaya sa serbisyo, anong ginagawa natin? Even with more than a decade to go, under their current agreements, the MWSS did the unthinkable. In 2014, it extended these agreements by an additional 15 years to expire in 2037. So again, let us recap. We pay for their corporate income taxes and other business expenses, advance for projects that are non-existent or abandoned, look the other way when they fail to provide sewerage and sanitation systems, and extend their contracts even though the expiry is so far away. Are we going to stand by and allow this massive duping of the Filipino people? Beware the fury of a patient man, as John Dryden says. In this case, beware that of a patient woman. These onerous contracts have been the subject of my own research and numerous calls for investigation close to a decade ago. I am truly thankful that today, President Duterte himself has seen this issue and has not only pledged to act accordingly, but will hold these companies accountable. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for acknowledging that these widespread actions can no longer be tolerated. Now I call on my fellow legislators here in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. Let us expose these actions for what they are: a widespread swindling of the Filipino people and its government. Let us all unite and act for the benefit of our people, our constituents, who elected us to serve. Allow me to leave you with these words of Anatole France: justice is the means by which established injustices are sanctioned. I repeat, justice is the means by which established injustices are sanctioned. Let us all act to correct these injustices of the past once and for all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. That first opportunity was on September 2011, and I here stand years later asking the same thing. Let us all act. And this is my call to action to my colleagues. Marami pong salamat, and may God continue to bless the Philippines and the Filipino people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Floor Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the
Referral. Okay.
I move that we recognize the gentleman from the Bayan Muna party list, the Honorable Ferdinand Gaite, for his interpellation.
Congressman Gaiter, you are recognized for your interpellation.
Maraming salamat po, kagalang-galang Chair. At pahintulutan ba ng ating tagapagsalita, ang ating kagalang-galang na Honorable Congresswoman Herrera-Dy, na kung meron bang ilang katanungan hinggil sa privilege speech? Maraming salamat po. Sa mga nakarang araw, talagang nakakabahala ang balitang lumabas na bunga ng Permanent Arbitral Tribunal sa Singapore na binabanggit na malaking kabayaran. Ang kailangan daw, may malaking obligasyon ang ating gobyerno hinggil sa naging desisyon ng tribunal na ito hinggil sa usapin ng hindi daw yung penalties regarding the rate rebasing of the concessionaires under the MWSS. Tama po ba yan na kagalang-galang na kinatawan?
Mr. Speaker, kaya po sila tumakbo para sa arbitration dahil hindi po sila napayagan mag-increase ng presyo based on the rate rebasing. Dahil nakita ng MWSS, dahil din sa investigasyon natin sa Kongreso, na hindi nararapat ang increase ng kanilang rates during that time dahil marami silang nakolekta mula sa taong bayan na hindi pa nagagawa. Kaya we are holding them accountable. I-report sa atin, nasa na ba yung mga perang binayad ng consumers? So dahil dyan, hindi natin sila pinayagan ng rate rebasing na mag-increase ng presyo. At dahil hindi sila pinayagan, tumakbo sila dun sa Court of Arbitration. Lagi po nilang panakot ito. Mula pa po nung 2003 na rate rebasing, laging panakot ito ng mga concessionaires. Pag hindi nyo kami ininkrisan, tatakbo kami sa arbitration. Hanggang finally, nung huli, nanindigan ang MWSSRO, hindi sila pinayagan mag-increase at tinutuo nga nila, tumakbo sila sa arbitration. At doon, sinasabi nila, ang laki daw ng lugi nila dahil hindi sila pinayagan mag-increase ng presyo. Pero kung titignan mo ang kanilang year-end statement, financial statements, napakalaki naman ng kinita ng 2 bilyonaryong kumpanyang ito. At ang price per share nila sa Philippine Stock Exchange have increased tremendously. Kaya hindi ko nakikita kung paano sila nalugi doon sa hindi pag-increase ng presyo. Kaya hindi ko nakikitang napag-aralan mabuti ng arbitration at palagay ko hindi tinignan ang mga libro nila sa claim na sila ay nalugi dahil hindi sila nakapagtaas ng presyo ng tubig.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair, Madam Congressman, sa inyong malinaw na pagpapaliwanag hinggil sa ano ba yung naging partikular na usapin na hinarap ng hindi lang ng gobyerno, sa totoo lang. Ito ay may epekto sa lahat ng mga mamamayang Pilipino sapagkat kung i-award yung sinasabing penalties ng ini-impose nitong permanent tribunal na ito, malaking kasingilan ang magaganap. At obviously, ang final impact niyan ay doon sa consumers. Kasi tulad na nabanggit nyo, no? Yung threat na ito na pinaburan ang Manila Water ay ipapasa normally yan sa consumers. Kaya po, ang isang katanungan ko, bakit ho ba kailangan dito sa ganitong mga disputes arising from the interpretation or concerns regarding the concessional agreement which was signed in 1997, no? Tagal na pala, no? 1997, by virtue of Republic Act 8041 or the Water Crisis Act of 1995, bakit international tribunal? Bakit, ang pagkaintindi ko, ang MWSS, ang Water Concessional Agreement, ay dito sa ating bansa, sa Pilipinas. Bakit although totoo rin na merong multinational corporation na partner as required by the concessional agreement, but they retain a minority in terms of investments, no? Pagkaintindi ko, nag-a-apply pa rin yung 60-40 equity limitation sa foreign ownership. Pero kung gayon, kung minority lang, bakit ho kaya pinahihintulutan na yung usapin na ito ay ang tinatawag na korporasyong Manila Water and even Maynilad ay rehistrado sa SEC dito sa ating bansa. And yet, kapag may mga usapin o disputes, bakit ho tingin nyo dinadala sa ibang international tribunal para pagpasyahan ang mga bagay na sa tingin ng kinatawang ito ay dapat sa ating sistema ng korte o iba pa ng ating judicial system ang nagpapasya sa mga usapin na yan. Ano po ang tingin ng ating kagalang-galang na kinatawan, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Speaker, yun nga po ang kaya po ako nagsaliksik at gumawa ng investigasyon mula pa po noong 2010, noong 15th Congress, dahil nakita ko nga na isang provision nito ng concession agreement na hindi nararapat at hindi tama. Ang isa nga dyan, sabi ko, hindi kasi ito dumaan sa Kongreso. Because they always claim not to be public utility companies. They claim that they are just mere agents. So pakiramdam nila, hindi na sila kailangan dumaan sa Kongreso. Kaya nga, from the very beginning, it's a fundamentally wrong contract. Because it did not pass through the scrutiny of Congress. That's number one. Kaya nga pinag-aaralan namin, baka void ab initio na ang kontratang ito to begin with, kasi hindi siya dumaan sa kahit anong scrutiny ng Kongreso. But this is a public utility company. It should have passed through us. And the concession agreement, sinuko ng MWSS yung kanilang pagiging public utility doon sa concession. Diba? Pinasa niya sa concession agreement. Kaya sinasabi natin, hindi tama ito. That's why we have been questioning some provisions of the concession agreement from the very, very beginning. Unfortunately, no one was listening. Way back in 2010, nandito rin po ako, nagsasalita din po ako, pero wala rin pong nakikinig. Pero ngayon, si Pangulong Duterte na mismo ang nakadiskubre nito. Kaya nagpapasalamat ako talaga sa ating Pangulo dahil napakalakas po ng political will niya talaga na labanan ang mga malalaking kumpanyang ito na matagal na pong pinadurugo ang ating mga mamamayang Pilipino.
Maraming salamat po. Sapagkat talaga tama po naman ang obserbasyon ng ating kagalang-galang na kinatawan. Sapagkat alam natin na marami talagang tinatawag na quote-unquote onerous provisions yung concessionary agreement. At kung marapati ni Congressman Herrera-Dy, meron rin po kaming stake yan nung panahon na ito ay pinaprivatize. Konting kwento lang, way back in 1995, when the supposed water crisis was developing, nagkaroon din ng El Nino nung panahon na yon, nag-necessitate daw na kailangan magkaroon ng batas purposely para daw ma-address yung problema ng kakulangan ng tubig dito sa Metro Manila. At doon pa man ay tumutol na kasi po kung hindi nyo po batid, yung union po sa MWSS ay ilan sa mga kasamahan namin, yung MWAS Employees Union. At of course, ang concern nila, yung services na epekto nito kung ito'y mapaprivatize under a concessionary agreement at yung epekto rin sa mga manggagawa. Ang dami ho kasing manggagawa noon sa MWSS. Almost 10,000 dati ang employees. And concern nila, yung effect, hindi lamang sa services, kundi epekto rin sa mga manggagawa. Kaya even before the 1995 Water Crisis Act na batas, tumutol na po yung mga kawani at manggagawa, kasama rin namin ang mga consumers ng Metro Manila. Kaya tulad nyo, may history tayo ng paglaban at natutuwa kami na kasama rin po kayo sa usapin na ito. Tama po yung point nyo, no? Maraming provisions do sa agreement na, other than the Water Crisis Act of 1995, na binibigyan ng kapangyarihan ang Pangulo na gumawa ng mga konkretong hakbang kasama yung pagsasapribado ng naturang ahensya. Ito'y mahigpit natin at tinutulan ng mga kawani at mga consumers. Kundi tama rin po kayo, no? It fell on deaf ears, unfortunately. But we are now proven right. Tulad po ng ating kagalang-galang na kinatawan ng Quezon City, nakita rin natin kung paano ngayon na it has bitten us in the rear, sabi nga nila. Dahil ngayon, although hindi lang po ngayon ito problema, dati nang problema. Kasi yung sinasabing performance agreements na kailangan nila i-comply, marami pa ho silang hindi na-comply dyan. Yung usapin sa non-revenue water, yung 24/7 availability ng tubig, yung usapin hinggil sa, nabanggit nyo na, yung water rate rebasing, no? At among others. Tama po yung observation na maraming mga basis, mga dahilan, para dapat sa minimum, nireview na yung contract before, dati. Tanong ko po, hindi pa tapos yung kontrata, tama po. Kailan po dapat kailan po dapat ito matatapos sa pagkaalam ng ating kinatawan na Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, sa 2022 pa po dapat mag-expire. Pero nirenew na noong 2009 or 2014, basta nag-renew na sila ng extended for 15 years. Kaya ang naging bagong ending ay 2037. That's why also part of my recommendation is to cancel the extension. Kasi walang performance review na naganap at hindi pa sila nag-account doon sa mga bagay na kinolekta nila na natigil. Di ba katulad nga yung sinabi ko, Laiban. Alam natin now, it still is a project that is not ongoing. Ito po ay kinukolekta na sa atin mula 2003. So magkano na po ba ang nakolekta doon? Ano po bang nangyari doon? They haven't accounted that sa atin. Yung replacement water, yung NIA na sinasabi natin dapat ibalik sa aming mga kababayan sa Bulacan ng mga farmers, that's a 5.4 billion project. Sinimulan na po nilang kolektahin ito mula 2007 rate rebasing. Hanggang ngayon, kasama pa rin po ito sa ating mga financial feasibility studies na binabayaran pa rin po ng taong bayan. Ang tanong, na-bid out na po ito at may nanalo na yung Bulacan Bulk. So nasaan yung pera na binayaran natin? Bakit ibang tao na ang gagawa ng supply ng replacement ng tubig sa Bulacan? So they haven't accounted for that. At yan ang dahilan kung ba't ayaw natin silang payagan na mag-increase ng presyo until such time na mai-account nila sa atin lahat ng kinolekta nila na hindi naman natuloy ng mga proyekto.
Salamat po, kagalang-galang na Congressman Herrera-Dy. Talagang, kung titignan nyo lang, parang talaga napakaraming usapin, Mr. Chair, no? Yung mga katulong, kasi dun ba lamang sa, sabi nyo po, 2022 pa, dapat mag-expire. Pero hindi pa tapos yung kontrata, nirenew na. Alam po ba ng ating kagalang-galang na kinatawan, bakit? Ano ho bang basis? Di ba normally, in contracts, hintayin mo kasi performance ang tinitignan mo eh. Kasi gusto mo makita kung karapat-dapat nga ba itong kumpanyang ito ay manatili pa batay sa kanyang performance. Eh kung 2009 pa, hindi mo pa nakikita yung kabuuang performance ng naturang ahensya. Alam ba ng ating kagalang-galang kinatawan, Mr. Chair, kung ano bang background dito? Why was it immediately extended when the fact is, hindi pa tapos yung kontrata 3 years pa from now?
Sa pagkakaalam ko, Mr. Speaker, tinakot na naman ang gobyerno ng mga concessionaires na, naku, lalaki ang presyo ng tubig kasi sa laki ng investment namin. Pag dinivide mo, dun lang sa unang 25 years, masyadong lolobo ang babayaran ng taong bayan. Kaya i-extend nyo dapat para imbis na divided by 25, divided by plus 15 pa. Ganun na naman, tinakot na naman ng gobyerno, nauto naman yata tayo sa gobyerno at nai-extend naman po natin without a performance review. At kaya yun nga yung nilalaban natin that hindi naman dapat ganun. Kasi pinasok mo yan on a 25-year contract, you made business plans based on a 25-year contract when you signed the concession agreement in 1997. You cannot change the name of the game in the middle. Na, oops, teka lang, mas malaki pa pala yung gagastusin namin. So, dapat i-extend nyo kami. Kaya, hindi justified yung extension ng concession agreement.
Mr. Chair, galang-galang na ating kinatawan, talagang totoo po, no? Parang lagi na lamang ang paraan, yung sabi niyo pong tinatakot, sinethreaten. At narinig ko rin dati yan eh. Noong una, yung ayaw nilang payagan, Mr. Chair, na magkaroon ng rate rebasing, sinasabi, pag hindi magre-rate rebasing, posibleng magkaroon ng problema sa tubig. Apparently, parang we're being held hostage, no, by these corporations, providing a very vital service, no, tubig. No? Alam na natin, paulit-ulit yung sinasabi, water is life. No? At pag wala kang tubig, nako, isang napakasakit na ulo para sa mga mamamayan yan. And we've experienced that during the summer. Ito lang nakaraang summer, nag-rationing. Ang masakit niyan, supposedly, tag-ulan na, bumagyo nga kamakailan, and yet we're still under a rationing regime. As a matter of fact, ako may taga-Pasig, we only have about less than 12 hours a day na tubig hanggang ngayon. Ano? And isang malaking question na tulad na nabanggit nyo, ang daming mga provisions sa performance review na nababiolate nila. Pero apparently, walang sumisita. Tanong ko po, Mr. Chair, Madam Congresswoman, sino ho ba dapat ang may responsibility dito sa sinasabing performance review? Is it, again, probably another international agency? Or meron ba local counterpart na may responsibility na i-review yung performance nila insofar as it should be at par or should be compliant with the provisions of the concessionary agreement, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, by virtue of the concession agreement, it has to be the regulatory office. Yun talaga ang main responsibility to monitor the compliance of the concessionaires. Unfortunately, like I have been shouting for the longest time, they have an incestuous relationship inside that building. Corporate office, regulatory office, and the concessionaires. How can you regulate people who feed you? I have been shouting this for the past 10 years. How can you regulate people who feed you? That's why I filed the Water Regulatory Commission bill in order for the regulation to be independent of the concessionaires and even the corporate office. Dahil regulatory office, ang nagpapasweldo rin sa kanila in essence are the concessionaires. So how can you regulate people who feed you? So by law, by concession agreement, it has to be the regulatory office, but they have not been doing their jobs for the longest time.
Okay. Maraming salamat po sa kasagutan yon sapagkat lalo lumilinaw, no? Yung may mga institusyon o ahensya ng gobyerno na may tungkulin para protektahan ang publiko, pero sa halip na gampanan nila yung kanilang tungkulin, ay ang sabi ng obserbasyon ng iba, nakamanhikluod sila doon sa mga malalaking kumpanya. Of course, itong issue na ito ay hindi po bago, no? As a matter of fact, ang isang concern rin ng kinatawang ito na baka magkaroon ng repeat performance doon sa mga iba pang water districts ngayon na ganyan din ang nagaganap. According to the data we obtained from the Local Water Utilities Administration, liban sa MWSS na isa sa pinakamalaki na sabihin na nating water district sa buong Pilipinas, may higit kumulang mga 500 din na mga water districts sa buong Pilipinas. Pero ang nakakabahala, batay sa nakuha rin naming datos at impormasyon, yung model ng privatization, yung through a concessionary agreement or a joint venture agreement or a build, operate, transfer agreement, ay nauulit sa mga iba pang mga water districts. Nakarating sa amin ang reklamo ng mga kawani ng Bacolod City Water District, ng Santa Cruz Water District, ng San Jose del Monte, Bulacan Water District. Dito sa Bulacan, napakarami po na iba pang mga water districts are similarly situated where under joint venture agreement, build, operate, transfer, bulk water supply agreements at iba pa, ay pumapasok rin yung pribadong kapital para hindi lamang po maging joint, meaning mag-exist yung dalawang parties, pero dito po, practically, take over, tulad po ng binabanggit nyo, no? At ang nakakabahala, yung binabanggit nyo po, na ina-assert ngayon ng Maynila at Manila Water, they are mere agents. Baka pwede nyo pong ipaliwanag po ito. Bakit? Ano bang pinagkaiba ng mere agents at yung sinasabi nyo pong public utility? Bakit po this is a concern for the public and others? Kung bakit ba ito ay importanteng aspeto para makita natin nansan ba yung tinatawag na obligasyon at liabilities ng mga naturang pribadong kumpanya, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Well, una-una, pag public utility company ka, hindi mo pwedeng ipasa ang corporate income tax mo at other business expenses sa taong bayan. Diba? Kaya they want to be declared as mere agents kasi hindi sila yung public utility. Pangalawa, hindi sila matatali doon sa 12% return on investment. Pangatlo, they cannot use the assets of MWSS before privatization to compute for the return on rate base. Dahil doon sa return on rate base na ginagamit, medyo technical lang po, na ginagamit sa pag-compute, ginagamit ang assets ng MWSS before the privatization. They did not spend on that. You cannot compute based on that one. But because they are not public utilities, ang kiniklaim nila, it's MWSS na kasama doon. Kaya ginagamit nila pati assets ng MWSS as part of it. That's why they can never, we can never consider them as mere agents. They are public utility companies because they deal with utilities. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, ito pong resolusyon na hawak ko, ito po ang isang senyas na ang regulatory office ay naging pabaya. Naging pabaya sa ating taong bayan. Dahil ito pong resolusyon na to, dineklara nila through a technical working group na sila ay public utility company, walang karapatan ang COA mag-audit sa kanila dahil hindi sila, yun pang isa, hindi sila ma-rate audit ng COA dahil hindi daw sila public utility. Hindi ma-audit ang kanilang mga libro dahil hindi sila public utility dahil sila ay agents lamang and remains to be private corporations. Kaya napaka-unfair po ng dokumento na to. Kaya like ko sinasabi, a mere technical working group can also reverse all that is written in this resolution. Itong resolution nito napaka-powerful. It declares them as mere agents. It kicks out COA as to rate audit them. And it insists that the return on rate base is computed based on using the assets of MWSS before privatization. At marami pa pong iba.
Tama po, no? Ako po'y kaisa sa mariin na pagtingin na karapat-dapat lang sa minimum i-review yung current performance ng mga water concessionaires. At kami po sa Makabayan Block ay pumuposisyon rin na dapat hindi lang i-review, dapat nga ibalik sa kontrol ng gobyerno. Sapagkat naniniwala kami na isang public utility, no, na tubig, na isang, sabi nga ng United Nations Convention, ang tubig ay karapatan. It is a human right. No? Bilang isang karapatan, dapat may access yung mga ordinaryong mamamayan. Dahil tulad nga nagsabi, dahil kung wala kang tubig, pwede kang 2 araw lang na wala kang inumin na dalisay, malinis, affordable na tubig, ikaw ay madaling mamatay. Kaya po, yun talaga ang concern po namin. Kaya po, napakainam na ngayon, napag-uusapan ito. At bagamat ito rin, gusto rin namin sana, although wala pang masyadong malinaw, noong una narinig namin ang statement ni Pangulo, ay dapat ipakulong. Yun yung una namin narinig. Ipakulong itong nananabutahe sa ating ekonomiya dahil napakalaking singilin kung ito nga ay babayaran. Pero hindi namin alam kung ano na ngayon yung posisyon kasi ang nahuli namin narinig ay sapat na lamang na magkaroon ng review for purposes of identifying which provisions of the agreement are onerous but will still pursue the arrangement where a private company will run, manage, control the provision of such a utility. Ano ho ba ang tingin ng ating kinatawan dito sa usapin ng hanggang anong extent ba dapat natin abutin itong problema sa water concessionaires dito sa Metro Manila at sa mga iba pang mga lugar dito sa buong Pilipinas. Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Speaker, naniniwala ako, I believe there are some resolutions here that filed that we also have to pass through the scrutiny of Congress, the existing agreement, and to review how we can move forward. Kung ito ba, katulad ng sinasuggest mo, dapat bang ibalik sa gobyerno or ito ba ay dapat palitan ng mga concessionaires, ito ay subject sa mga magiging investigasyon pa natin dito sa Kongreso. Kaya ito ay dapat mariing pag-aralan nating mga mambabatas, both the lower house and the upper house, and at the same time, yung ating executive, I think, is also doing their part. Pero naniniwala ako, the very basic, as public utility companies, they have to pass through the scrutiny of Congress. At yun po ang wala, absent dun sa 1997 when the concession agreement was signed. It never passed through the scrutiny of Congress and it has to pass through us para mapag-aralan po nating mabuti. Kaya marami po tayong work that has to be done. And as to direction, syempre we all have to discuss this thoroughly here in Congress as well as with the Executive Department.
maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker, Madam Congressman. Tama po, no? Ang daming concerns, no? Batay sa isa nakuha namin informasyon, dun lamang sa pricing ng tubig, bagamat nag-hold sila ng mga consultations, apparently, para siyang hindi daw consultations na nagaganap, kundi parang during every time meron silang proposal for rate rebasing, it's a one-way discussion. Sasabihin nila yung mangyayari, pero the public are for your information only. Parang ganon, no? So, pero walang recognition na dapat, bilang isang public utility, may role yung public, lalo na kung itong gagawin nilang policies ay magre-result sa napakataas na pagtaas ng presyo ng tubig. As it is, based sa findings, ang napakalaki na ang tinaas ng presyo ng tubig since 1997. Almost 1,000% na, no? Yung sinasabing data na nakuha namin. At itong lahat ng pagtaas na ito ay walang benefit ng public consultation. Hindi matatawag na public consultation ang ginagawa ngayon ng Maynilad at Manila Water sapagkat hindi siya talaga participatory, no? Kaya't maganda po yung inyong pong inilahad na statement at privilege speech At ang Makabayan Block po ay nakikisa kasamang bayan muna sa inyong pagpupursue na i-hold accountable natin ang mga private companies tulad ng Maynila at Maliwater, including the institutions such as the MWSS for their baka act of commission o act of omission na protektahan yung publiko sapagkat tama po yung inyong observation. Hindi po tayo naghihiwalay sa panindigan na dapat bilang isang public utility, ito ay isang serbisyong karapat-dapat na vested with public interest. Kaya po mula sa Makabayan Block at sa Bayan Muna, kami nagpapasalamat sa inyong ginawang privilege speech at asahan nyo na susuportahan po natin ang mga panawagan para alamin ang talagang punot dulo ng mga suliranin sa MWS at anong pwedeng legislation para matulungan ang mamamayan. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker, Madam Sponsor.
Maraming salamat din po.